Hey, this is David, and today I will be doing the third in my series of Marvel Legends Thor, Love and Thunder 6-inch figures by Hasbro unboxings. Previously, I unboxed Valkyrie and Jane Foster Natalie Portman Mighty Thor, and today I will be unboxing this figure of, I believe it's called Teen Groot, but they just call it Groot on the package. So here it is. I was not sure if I was going to be purchasing this whole wave so that I could build the Korg Build-A-Figure, but I guess I am because, you know, here's Groot and I'm too far in now to just stop. Anyway, this figure of Teen Groot, if it looks a little bit familiar to you, as it probably should, like that is because it was previously released back in 2018 as part of the Infinity War 3-pack with an Infinity War Thor and Rocket Raccoon. It was a Toys R Us exclusive at this time, and it was like $60, which seemed like a crazy amount of money for a 3-pack back then, but actually it's, you know, perfectly fair, and we would not expect to see a $6 3-pack today necessarily. I did not think that this was going to have much improvement over that original figure, but I went back and looked at my review of that figure and determined that in fact there are some differences. But let me go ahead and get this taken out of the box. Here is the back of the package, and let me read off this text for Groot. I am Groot. What a great bio. This is one of Hasbro's best bios, I think. All right, so let me open this up. At a glance, like, okay, so he comes with the big torso piece of the Korg Build-A-Figure. And here it is. I have previous pieces of Korg sitting around here, including this leg, but I'm not sure which leg this is, so I'm not going to attach it right now because I can't see very well. His head's around somewhere too, but I don't really want to look for it. I thought at first glance that actually this figure looked, you know, almost exactly like the previous 2018 version that a lot of people did not get because they didn't want to spend $60 on a 3-pack. But looking at my own review photos, I was surprised to discover that in fact, that figure was a much darker brown. It almost looks like one of those chocolate Easter bunnies. It's such a dark brown, and it's got like these really piercing eyes on it. It really does remind me of those chocolate Easter bunnies. But this one's a lighter brown, which I think is a little bit nicer. Let me get them out of the package here. Even just looking out of the package and looking at my previous photos, like I could tell right off that this one has a lighter colored brown, and he's got a new head, and he also has all new accessories. That previous figure came with a iPad looking datapad thing so that he could be playing Clash of Kings or Disney Tsum Tsum or Candy Crush or Marvel Puzzle Quest, you know, one of those great games. But in fact, this one does not come with that datapad, but he still comes with a lot more in the way of accessories beyond that datapad. So with this Teen Groot figure, we are going to get this all new interchangeable hand that's got these like going out extending tendrils. This looks similar to when he was helping to forge Stormbringer in Infinity War, although we don't get a Stormbringer hammer here. And also we're going to get this one like super long tendril hand that's going to attach to him. Let me get all this stuff out of the package. Here's a gun that I actually thought came with the original Teen Groot figure, but it turns out it didn't, and I just thought that it did because my Hot Toys Teen Groot figure came with one of these guns. And here's an extra hand that's got a trigger finger, if I can get it out of the package here. I was going to, you know, blindly look for that old Infinity War 2018 Teen Groot figure, going through tons of tubs of old action figures, blindly trying to find it, but as it turns out, that I decided that was not going to be an effective use of my time. So let me take this Groot. Okay, so his hands pop off easy peasy, no problems. And if I want to place his new extending tendril thing in, let me see here. This is a little bit difficult for me because I can't see and I don't have a lot of great dexterity since my strokes, but you know, I was able to pop this on easy peasy. It actually goes quite a long way. There's some subtle paint apps on this tendril, and it's a cool tendril, but I'm gonna have to pop this back off because it looks like this is actually the same hand that his gun trigger hand is. So let me pop on his second hand here. His hand is a very soft, rubbery piece. This gun is also super, super, super bendy and rubbery. So you don't have to worry about anything snapping, because I don't know if it's really possible with something this bendy. But we can take his extra hands here and pop them on and off very simply, very easily. They look cool. They're very fun. We haven't gotten anything like this from Hasbro before. Let's take a look at him. There's basically no paint apps on the back of this Groot figure, which is, I don't know, it seems kind of cheap, but how often are you going to have Groot turned around like this on display? But I would have preferred if Hasbro had gone the whole way, especially when these have this new $24.99 price point. Let me see if I can get Groot to hold this gun now. This might be a little bit too much of a challenge for me because of my vision issues, but I'm sure this can be done, and it can be done simply by somebody who can see. Okay, I might do a quick cut and come back once I've actually got this attached, because it seems like a waste of your time to watch me fiddle with this needlessly. Okay, be right back. And I'm back. Like, here we are, we've got Groot. He is now holding his big blaster rifle. As you can see, his trigger finger is easily upon the trigger of the gun. And if you want, you can, you know, repose the gun so that he has both hands on it easily enough, because, oh, I pulled him out. I wish I hadn't done that. I pulled the handle back out of his hand, but you guys saw the handle was in there, and he definitely has the flexibility to hold this gun with both hands, with his finger on the trigger. Like, he has a huge range of motion as far as his hips and his legs go. He has a sort of hinged foot rocker, which is probably the least well working part of the articulation on this figure, but he has this ball jointed upper torso, and like you can see these little sapling like pieces of plant shoots, whatever you want to call them, like growing out of his head, and those are colored and those are neat. The head sculpt definitely looks nice. Overall, like, as a repack, like, I think this is a good figure. I thought it was great back in 2018. I still think that it's good now, especially now you can get it by itself with this big piece of Korg and with these alternate hands, which I think are pretty cool appendages. And if you are thinking about this, I think that this is a great figure. You could use a little bit more of a paint wash to bring out some of the texturing, because they put a lot of work into actually, you know, putting sculpting detail and a wooden texture on this figure that you can't really see so well because there isn't any kind of paint wash. But overall, I think that it's a great looking figure. The articulation works well. The hands are good enough to easily get the accessories into. I'm not crazy about how bendy that gun is. I'm a little bit worried that eventually it's going to lose its shape, but as a toy so far, I've been happy with everything in this wave. I think that Teen Groot is as good now as he was back in 2018, and with the new head and new hands and gun, he's even better, even if he cannot play games on an iPad, unless you already have that figure that had the iPad. But overall, I think this is a great figure. If you've been wanting it, I can give this a wholehearted recommendation. So that is my review and unboxing of Teen Groot. Okay.